League One predictions. Playoff final. Oxford United versus Wycombe Wanderers.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions. It's time for the League One playoff final. Who is playing in the final? We'll get to that in just a second. As well, there's no need for timestamps in this one, so it's just for me to say thank you to everybody that supports us on this channel. Please give this video a like and subscribe as well. If you want to see videos where we talk about how Oxford got on in the first and second leg against Portsmouth, and you can see that in the top corner. And you can also see what we thought predictions would be for both semi-finals as well. But without wasting any more time, Tom, let's go in to this final.
Oxford United versus Wycombe Wanderers at Wembley. I'm leading off. I don't even want you to talk yet, because when you get started on Oxford, we're going to be here for 8 hours. If anyone wants to see Ian's review of the Portsmouth game, we've already said it, but it's up there in the top corner. But let's talk about the team that quite literally I don't think anyone thought was going to be in the final. But Wycombe Wanderers are in the final after an insane season by all accounts. I mean, most people had them going down at the beginning of the year, didn't they, Ian? Yeah.
21st place is Wycombe Wanderers. I'm sorry, you're also going down.
They didn't look like a strong team on paper. We didn't expect a lot, but here they are. The points per game system brought them up from 8th. They had a game in hand over Burton, which most of their fans were sure they would win and go up to 3rd anyway. But it's basically 3v4 at this point, isn't it? In the league.
Yeah, pretty much. I would say the one thing that came to my mind after they won the first leg so comprehensively was everybody spent about a month, maybe more, just basically saying to Wycombe, you're not good enough to be there, you're lucky, you don't deserve it. So it's literally just given. Gareth Ainsworth just probably didn't need any team talk. He probably just stuck all those comments up on the wall and said, right, go out and prove them wrong. Because they absolutely have. Absolutely have. It's a great achievement for them to be in the final.
But the second leg was very different to the first leg. It was a 2-2 draw. And I'll be honest, in this next match, Ian, your boys are going to have to watch out for Onyedinma. Is that how we say his name? Onyedinma, because, he scored in the first leg, scores in the second leg, and that final goal in like the 90th minute to equalise is a strike and a half.
Yeah, he had a great game. He was, every time he got the ball, it looked like something was going to happen. He really drove Wycombe forward. I mean, it's a game where they were pretty much on the back foot, just counter-attacking the whole game. And he was superb, and quite rightly got man of the match and scored 2 goals. And he's one of the main reasons why the game wasn't closer than it was.
Yeah, totally outpossessed in that game, 80%, 20%, but they've managed to get a 2-2 draw. And I think, to me, that's what makes them really dangerous, is having players like Onyedinma and stuff, like players that can win the game by themselves, that can hit a strike like that. Like, It hopefully is going to be a great final, and well done to Wycombe for about the 10th time I'm saying this, but I feel bad. I've been made to eat my words for 2 straight videos, Ian. And they've done well. And
I agree. I like the way Gareth Ainsworth just seems like he's got a group of players that aren't just rigid to play in one style either. They're quite like they can adapt and be different in a game. Like yesterday's game was all about just soaking up a lot of pressure, which they were able to do. Defence did a really good job, and when Alsop was called for, he made some great saves as well. And they've got players like, players to bring onto the game, like Akinfenwa, who is so good at holding the ball up.
He's like the definition of a target man.
Yes, he's such a brilliant outball. Like he's almost like he's not going to give you any running, but as long as you can get him in the vague area, he will hold that ball up well for you. But also, we showed in the first leg that they aren't just a counter-attacking side; they are very good side in their own right, trying to play football.
And also, the penalty they gave away, I don't think was a penalty, personally. There's some weird, odd refereeing in that game.
Yeah, I guess that evens out the one they should have given away in the first half, which was handball. But at the end of the day, it didn't really matter, because even if they wouldn't have scored, they still would have gone for it.
So let's talk about their opponents in this game. Ian, the mighty, mighty Yellows. They won their first ever playoff match, be it by a penalty shootout. They're now in the playoff final. They're 1 game from the championship. Did you, in your wildest dreams, believe this was a possibility this year?
Well, I think I've said it multiple times, Thomas, that no, I did not. I thought Oxford would be a mid-table side. I think I put them down as 10th in our pre-season prediction, so it's been a massive overachievement. And watching back the video I did yesterday on the review, obviously I was drained after watching two very attritional matches, so it didn't seem like I was like very happy that Oxford won. But I think the main thing for that is it didn't feel like a win. And as weird as that sounds, it's like you've just played 120 minutes against a side who've really just been, like, it's almost been a complete 50-50 game. Every time you felt the goals were really important, every time Portsmouth got anywhere near our goal, I was like, clenching because it just felt like if they would have got a second goal, they would have gone on to win it. And elsewise, if Oxford would have got a second goal, they might have gone on to win it. And at the end of the day, we weren't winning at all in the tie, and we won because we scored one more penalty kick than them. So it does seem this is only like a day or so removed, so it still hasn't quite. I haven't quite gotten over it yet.
The Matt Taylor penalty, where he blasts it directly at the goalkeeper and it goes in.
Yeah.
How many times did your heart stop at that moment?
I mean, that's it. I mean, he wasn't the one I was worried about, though. I mean, there were some bold choices, and I think both sides did this, but especially from Oxford, where Ben Woodburn and I think Massinio, the penalty was basically their first kick of the game.
Yeah.
And Massinio, he's an experienced player, but for Ben Woodburn to take the first penalty, still a kid, isn't he? Really? I mean, he's not
great penalty.
He's not played. Yeah. And what they said afterwards was he messed it up, and that wasn't actually where he was supposed to kick it. Like where he practiced his penalties, he'd usually go the other way, and he sort of miskicked it, but luckily it still went in. But just shows that he's got a lot of bottle to step up and
cojones.
That's the word.
Mass cojones.
The worst penalty was obviously the one that got saved by Eastwood, just because that was the only one that was kind of not hit as well and gave the goalie a chance, really. All the others never gave the goalie a chance.
Ian, talk me through this match. How do you see it going? How do you see it being played? What do you see the result being at the end of it?
Well, let's go back to the game we played in the league. It was a very tight game as well. It finished 1-0 to Oxford. And James Henry got the goal, but the game was really overshadowed by an early red card for Akinfenwa, which Oxford did. I think it was probably Jamie Mackey did a really good job of getting Akinfenwa sent off by basically talking the ref into it. But that obviously meant Wycombe had to play a lot on the back foot and just try and hit Oxford on the break, which they weren't able to do. So I expect it to be close and tight. I don't expect there to be a lot of goals in the game. And Oxford have really got to try and find a way to try and get in behind sides. That was where they really struggled against Pompey. They played some nice football in front of their back four, but they really struggled getting behind their back line. They've really got to find a better way to do that. Otherwise, Wycombe can just kind of sit there and let Oxford play, and then just sort of play on the break. That is the
Oxford
score.
United beat York.
When Oxford beat York the last time they got to a playoff final at Wembley. That was 10 years ago, and you would think I'm going to pick the same score, but no, I think it'll be a lot closer than that. So I think it'll be 4-0 Oxford.
Literally, we're going to have to start urine testing you because I'm no longer sure that you know what you're talking about. I am of the opinion that Oxford United's match better prepares them than Wycombe's does. I think the extra time on the pitch, as long as they haven't picked up an injury, is actually going to be beneficial. I think we've seen it in all the leagues. The more matches players get under their belt, the fitter they look, the better they look. Oxford have a week to recover, so I don't think the extra 30 minutes of play they've had are going to hurt them. And they've done the attritional thing, right? They played 210 minutes against an opponent that didn't give them an inch. And I think they're going to look better in this game. And let's not even talk about your 4-0 prediction. I see it being 2-0 to Oxford, but I know you said 4-0 and you're a huge Oxford fan, but I don't see Wycombe coming out of this without playing well. I just think Oxford are the better side. And I'm sure Wycombe fans are going to disagree, but I've been saying all season, and I've seen them live multiple times, this Oxford side have something about them. They've played really good attacking football this season. And now in one game, they just need to put it together again, and they're going to go up to the championship. I'm
sure nothing will delight Wycombe fans more, Tom, than seeing people just predicting Oxford to win and Oxford to win and Oxford to win, because being the underdog tag has worked quite well for them all season. It
has. And I think no matter who wins, it's been a fun playoffs. again, like the League 2 playoffs are fun, the League 1 playoffs have been fun, and I'm just sad that we've now got to go a month and a half without League 1 football.
Oxford being in the Championship, that is obviously a brilliant and also a little bit scary proposition. I think Wycombe being in the Championship, I think that's wow. I really think that's an incredible achievement. It does also scare me, the prospect of playing in the Championship, Tom.
It does, but if anything, Oxford United will get a little bit more extra income. Maybe they can finally find a way out of the Kazam. Maybe they can improve something at the club so that even if they go down, maybe they'll be a better club for it. This is not an Oxford podcast. Thank you all for watching. Please let us know your predictions below. We will be releasing a video right after full time on the 13th of July with the results, and Ian either in tears or in tears. I don't think there's.
I won't be in tears. Literally, honestly, the last time when I talked about that playoff game in 2010, that whole day was horrible. That playoff that playoff in the to get out of the National League was way more important than this playoff game against Wycombe. This is like a wonderful end to the season, whereas that just felt like a game we had to win. There was no ifs or buts. We had to win that game. So there didn't feel any fun attached to it. This has a hell of a lot more fun attached to it.
Well, for your sake, let's hope Oxford win. And
I won't be crying. I won't be crying if they lose. If they lose, I'll be disappointed. I'll be angry. I won't be crying.
Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in a week's time.